Good afternoon, conference. I come from Cornwall, which more than anywhere else in the country has been damaged by the policies of the European Union. In Newlyn, our fisheries have been wiped out. I also have a lot of experience with aspects of the Labour Party. And yesterday here in this conference hall, we witnessed two things. The first thing we witnessed was a fantastic conference. There is no question about that. The second thing we witnessed, and it's something each MEP will need to face, is that we were kebabbed by the press yesterday. An intemperate MEP, known for outspoken views, was cajoled into losing his temper. I do not defend that, but I tell you this, we need to be on our guard against that because it's coming our way. In UKIP, we will look at that incident, and I'm sure our NEC will decide what to do. But I hope the BBC also look at it, because we had an MEP presented with that front cover on which there were no black or brown faces. But if they'd have done their research and looked at page 6 and page 9, 10 and 34, they'd have seen a black or brown face. If they looked in the Evening Standard magazine yesterday, they'd have seen an article on UKIP with a brown face in it. A young member of UKIP, a lot on her. Why didn't they do their research? They didn't do their research because it didn't serve their ends to do it. They want to destroy us. And I hope that at the same time our NEC looks at this incident, and I will back what decision they make, the BBC looks into this incident. Hopefully before they look into the hundreds of thousands of pounds which have been spent on their executives and hidden from the public over the last few years. You know, there's something about this party which draws out the worst in people who hate us. Now that's not hard to do. But you know, there's a number of things that we need to look at here and really consider. And I want to deal with this issue of racism, because this is the issue which will destroy this party. And it will destroy it because the press will not let it go. So let's deal with it now. If you believe in a democratically elected House of Parliament which governs us, as I do, then you must be a racist. And so must Winston McKenzie, because he believes that. If you believe we need to control our own taxation, you're a racist. You better tell Amjad that this morning in his wonderful speech of what it means to be British. If you believe that we should elect and dismiss those people who pass laws over us, then I'm a racist. And you're a racist, because you believe that, do you not? I believe that, but we're racist. We cannot avoid this issue. We must tackle it, which is why I'm talking now. And one of the benefits of talking at the end of four great speakers who can tell you what it was like 20 years ago, when we were called nuts and fruitcakes, and you'll get nowhere, when we walked the streets of Southampton, where I was at the time, where ladies such as Elaine Matthews, Anne Flight, Frances Hooper, Jeff and Gordon Cutler, all those early names, they're not big names like Nigel, they're not big names like Paul Nuttall. But without them, and without people like them across the country, facing up to these jibes which the press always threw at us, we would have got nowhere. What they did, and what we do today, is we stand up for what we believe. And if you believe, like I do, that we should govern ourselves, and that's racist, you better have a word with Tony Benn. because he believes that. And the history of the EU opposition is not confined to the Tory party, it's confined to the Labour Party, because right up in 1987, it was official party policy of the Labour Party to withdraw from the European Union. And in 1986, the Single European Act was passed. And in 1992, John Major passed the Maastricht Treaty. And it was at that Maastricht Treaty which gave birth to the UK Independence Party. Because people from the AFL and the CIB and the CAEF and the CFE and the ACML realised that what we needed was a party which would have as its raison d'etre withdrawal from the European Union. No other party would have that. We had it. That's what we were set up to do. That's what we're doing today. And that's what we will continue to do. A word about Nigel. For years now, Nigel's been poked fun at. And in some ways, he's easy to do it because he puts himself forward and he does not back away from hard issues. But I tell you this, in politics there are hammers and there are anvils, and Nigel is a hammer. There is not one party political leader that can hold a light to him in debate. Which is why they don't want him taking part in the debates at the next election. They're scared. They're running scared. They don't want to face up to him because he knows he will run rings round them. 53 million a day to the European Union. Nonsense. Rules coming out which we have no control over. Control over borders we've lost. Nigel would put all this in front of the British people. And when he does so, and the press give us a fair hearing, there's not a chance in hell that we will not be elected in 2014 as MEPs. But in politics also, there are weather vanes and there are signposts. Weather vanes merely show you which way the wind's blowing. You know, David Cameron, yes, I can give you a cast iron guarantee. I'll give you a cast iron guarantee of a referendum. Thank you, David, where is it? But there are also signposts. And Nigel is a signpost as well as a hammer. And what we need to do is get enough MEPs in 2014 so that we can frighten the political life out of this country in 2015 and retain the right to govern ourselves. Finally. What I say to you is do what those people did 20 years ago. Stand up for what you believe. Believe what you stand up for. Don't be put off. Don't be scared of the press. Face them. And Nigel, wherever you are, we want you there as a signpost, because what we want to know is which is the quickest, most expedient way out of European Union.